Guys, let's get into this one quick and fast and furious. So I am using Homeboy again, and this is what I'm talking again. The conundrum, the the crap that people put up with, but Nintendo's the evil company. That's the problem. Nintendo is the bad company. Okay, listen to this crap, and this is why the gaming market has been destroyed. This is why the gaming market has been destroyed because gamers do stupid shit. I ain't buying no broken game. Wait, no. People are they talk about real life is they talk about talk about Nintendo but it's selling back nostalgia. Okay? We're gonna see this right here. Nintendo's the only one that's doing it, right? At least when I pick up my Mario Thousand Year Door, it worked. At least when I pick up Mario RPG, it worked, and it's physical, and I could trade it, and I could give it to a friend, and I could sell it back and get some kind of money back. And if it was a crappy game, I could at least get my refund back from Target or whatever. Yeah, but when the other companies do it, well, I'll let you see.
I am the real life fake wizard. On January 10th, 2026, a game called Code Violet launched on the PlayStation 5. It's an action horror shooter with a resemblance to Dino Crisis. The reviews are catastrophic.
Yeah.
38 out of 100 on Metacritic, 2.7 out of 10 from users. The comment sections on social media are flooded with people demanding refunds that they will likely never receive. And the
course.
developers, they're blocked.
Why the fuck y'all buy digital games? Imagine that. I ain't buying no digital game. At least I know what the hell's going on. But y'all stupidly did that. Again, gamers.
Critics on Twitter claiming the game wasn't made for reviewers and insisting it's a success because it briefly hit #1 on the PlayStation Store pre-order charts. And if all that wasn't bad enough, I mean, you have a broken game being sold for $50 with no refund options, but also, should these things and things we're about to discuss go unanswered for, it sets a much larger and predatory precedent for other scammers and possible fraudsters in the gaming marketplace.
Oh, really? Imagine that. But Nintendo's the problem.
Today's
Not doing that.
indie studio, Lee Four Brothers, who self-fund, describe themselves as specializing in PlayStation games that evoke the golden age of gaming. The team allegedly consists of 4 developers, reportedly 4 brothers, who self-fund and handle all aspects of production. I don't know, that sounds kind of charming. 4 brothers making games together? To me, that sounds like living the dream. But here's where things get more complicated. Team Kill's first major PS5 only release was a game called Quantum Error in 2023. It was marketed as a nostalgic throwback, this time to cosmic horror shooters, and it was also reviewed terribly. Quantum Error was widely panned as one of the worst games of that year. Buggy, unfinished, visually poor despite claims of next-gen optimization. Critics compared it to an asset flip, which, for those unfamiliar, is when developers
So if this company, Four Brothers, developed this game, Asset Flip, whatever, but the game, you would think you would not buy the game after that. But again, gamers are that dumb. What the flying hell?
buy pre-made assets from marketplaces and put them together to make a game with perhaps minimal original work. Personally, I don't have a problem with pre-made asset communities and marketplaces. I think they're wonderful and offer limbs, perhaps, let's say, to developers to actually get to see their games come to fruition. Does that mean you should rely on the cheapest assets you could flip? Well, no, obviously. Every game deserves to have its own artistic identity and integrity. The reviews, however, for Quantum Error were brutal, but Team Kill didn't change course. They doubled down, and that brings us now to Code Violet. Code Violet.
So if the game was shitty before, you gonna buy a shitty game again? Again, that's literally gamers' problem. I'll be like, oh no. And I'll be like, not doing that shit. But no, we're stupid. and I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about gamers itself. That is dumb as hell to buy a game where the original developers was shitty. I swear, people, this is why the gaming industry is so messed up, and y'all do not want to take accountability that y'all fucked it up.
Was announced in late 2024 as a spiritual successor to Dino Crisis. For those who don't know, Dino Crisis was a beloved survival horror series from Capcom in the late 90s and early 2000s. It has been dormant for over 2 decades, and fans have been begging Capcom for a revival. Team Kill positioned Code Violet as that revival.
I want to tell you this right now. If EA came and said, "Hey, we're gonna develop a Metroid game," I'm gonna be like, no, fucking no, because I know y'all history. I don't give a damn. That would be the first Metroid game I would never buy, because I know the pedigree of EA. So you know the pedigree of the ass wipes, and you'll still buy the game, digital game too? Stupid.
Survival horror, dinosaurs, a sci-fi setting, resource management, puzzles, all the classic stuff. It launched January 2026 at a price point of $50. We've already mentioned that it was panned by critics and players alike, but here are the general concerns most people have. The combat is clunky, the shooting feels terrible, hitboxes are erratic, sometimes you hit enemies, sometimes your bullets pass right through them. The stealth is broken. Enemies have omniscient awareness. They detect you through walls. Scripted ambushes undermine any attempt of actual tactical play. The game itself is actually very short. It's only about 5 hours long to complete the main story, and all of this can be yours at, again, $50. The technical issues are rampant. There's crashes, camera clips through the geometry, the assets don't load properly. Allegedly, keyboard prompts also appear on console. There's no HDR support despite marketing claims of visual fidelity. There's no map. In a game about navigating a complex facility, there is no map. Why does all this matter? Like, why are we talking about this?
Why do y'all buy a broken game? I don't understand it. Why you buy shitty games?
Why would I cover a topic like this? Well, let's review the PlayStation refund policy and see if things start to make sense. Sony's digital refund policy is among the strictest in, well, really the game.
I'm gonna rewind it back a little bit. Here's the problem. Sony digital. Nintendo has their digital too, so is Xbox. I ain't buying no game digital unless I know what the game is all about. 1 and 2. I have no problem with Nintendo game because, again, I bought Metroid Dread digitally. Why? Because I know the pedigree of the game. I know the pedigree of the people making the game. All right? Doesn't mean so like Pokemon Violet and whatever it was, the Pokemon game, yeah, I would tell you stay away from shit like that. Stay away from games from Pokemon Company and buy it digitally. But I know that the quality of the game from the person. So yeah. But I'm not buying no digital games from Sony. The only digital game I have from Sony, it came literally with my PlayStation, which was God of War Ragnarok. That was it. That's what came with it. Other than that, oh yeah, sorry. An original Spider-Man, but that was because it was a combination. It was a combination with Miles Morales as a year-end edition. But again, and I have no problem with that. But I'm good. Most of my games are still physical.
Gaming industry. Here's how it works. You have 14 days from purchase to request a refund, but, and this is the critical part, you cannot have downloaded or streamed the content. The moment you hit that download button, your refund eligibility essentially vanishes. There are exceptions, of course, for faulty content, games that have severe bugs that can't be fixed by patches, but Sony handles those on a case-by-case basis, and the burden of proof is on you to demonstrate that the game is broken. Compare this to Steam. On Steam, you can refund any game within 2 weeks of purchase if you played less than 2 hours. That's a reasonable policy that protects consumers while still giving developers a fair chance. PlayStation, however, you download it, you own it. whether it works or not, whether it's good or not, whether it is what it was advertised to be or not. Code Violet being a PlayStation exclusive means that they do not have to worry about refunds. PlayStation players will buy it, download it, and have no recourse to get their money back. The player reviews now are essentially warning signs saying,
I mean, the shit writes itself. Maybe you should not buy games all willy-nilly. Maybe you should wait to buy games. I'll tell you this right here, right now. There is none. And I do mean, no. There's only one. One game. Out of all the PlayStation games, 5 games I have on my console, that I bought for my console, there's only one game I bought that I would say I bought close to day one. I ain't bought day one, but close to day one. Ain't like Metroid. You know I'm gonna get Metroid. You know I'm gonna get a Donkey Kong. You know I'm gonna get a Mario. I'm gonna get those day one because I know the pedigree of the developers. And that was Astrobots. Funny enough, a platformer because of Astro Playroom and it was a good game. Astrobots. Outside of that, ain't no way I'm buying any day one games from any company other than Nintendo. And also that I know the pedigree of the studio that's working in, not Nintendo itself, but like, you know, RDN1 or, you know, other stuff like that. That's the only way. But I'm not, Even when Okami comes out, I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna buy it day one.
don't buy this game, you will lose your money. And with the rest of the lore that we still haven't broken down, I have to imagine that this was the strategy Team Kill Media had all along.
No shit.
In my humble opinion, it's as if they knew this game could be used to rug pull people. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, justifiably, Wizard, bad games happen all the time. Small teams do make lots of mistakes.
Yeah.
Why are you coming down so hard on these guys? Those are great questions and definitely worth.
Why are they coming to hard on it? Because you gamers are stupid and buy stupid shit, and then you're surprised when you can't get your money back. I'm with the Wizard on this one. I agree. There should be a problem to say that. Now I'll say this. Stop buying dumb games off of people without looking at the damn fucking reviews. Get different perspective before you buy the son of the bitches. Jeez. I gotta see the pedigree before I go buy a game day one. Y'all asswipes do that, and then y'all, the gaming industry is so greedy and so whatever. You gave them your money without knowing whether the game was shit. You got shit, and then you were thinking, this should not be shit, but you did not read to see if it was shit. It was shit. It was a nicely glowing turd, but you still went and bought a turd.
Discussing. Team Kill Media is technically a small indie team, and I'm the support indie games guy.
I'm a support indie games guy too, but I gotta see what the game's all about before I put my money on that shit. I ain't gonna buy any indie game. That's a stupid thing. That's why I've said indie games that take over third party is good, but I did a video about this. For every 10 indie games that developers that do good, like a Team Cherry and stuff like that, there are hundreds of thousands of them who just want to cash grab and cheap crap. So you gotta do your own due diligence.
No interest in speaking negatively about indie developers unless, like in this case, I believe, in my humble opinion, they're doing something that can hurt the whole indie marketplace. And I do think...
And the only way to fix it is the gamers stop being dumbasses and stop buying these games. That's the only way. Only way.
If this isn't discussed or talked about, and if these situations, these controversies go unanswered, it could. Controversy number one, the PC port rejection. In January 2025, just before launch, Team Kill made an announcement that went viral for a bunch of wrong reasons. They stated that Code Violet would never come to PC. It would never be on Steam. The reason? They didn't want players making vulgar or pornographic mods of the characters. They claimed they held their voice actresses in high regard and refused to let their artistic vision be destroyed by sexual mods. That post got over 1.6 million views, and it absolutely got ratioed. And here's why people...
Of course it got ratioed. And if they were truly true about that, I could respect that. I totally respect that because most PC people, not majority. Okay, there's a decadent version of PC people out there who just do crazy shit for no reason. And it's one of the reasons I'm not a PC guy per se. Y'all just mod everything to be over sexualized, whatever. I crack joke with Fleek. Because Fleek is cracking jokes, he do what it is, but I'm not into that deviant stuff. First of all, get a real woman. Some of y'all need that, but you know, can't get it. I don't know what to do. Find Pamela. Pamela will help you every time. But geez, because again, it's like CJ the Champ says, y'all will pay $10.99 for bitches OnlyFam when the hub is free. The frig is wrong with you men, you crazy ass men. Y'all are the weirdos of weirdos.
Deserve to be furious. Firstly, it stereotypes PC gamers as perverts who can't be trusted with games. The vast majority of PC players never touch mods, let alone the sexual ones.
That's true.
Punishing an entire fan base for a hypothetical minority is, well, it's absurd. Second,
it's not hypothetical. It is there. No, it ain't hypothetical. They're there. I've seen videos of people it's like you see the naked models of Street Fighter 5 and all. I'm like, why y'all mess up a game? Just let it be. Why? They do that. They're deviant sons of bitches.
This is probably the more important one. It's hypocritical. The marketing for Code Violet features the protagonist in bikinis and lingerie. The game has a dressing room where you can change Violet's outfits.
Yeah.
The trailers have gratuitous shots emphasizing the character's body and bottom. Let me get this straight. You're selling the game using sexualized imagery. You're including revealing outfits.
Well, there you go. Well, I'm not surprised by that. Okay, you don't think they got Celebrate did that? They modded it to be what it is, but yeah. Okay. Popcorn the kettle metal. Yes, you're right on that. You're now that you say that, you're right on that. Real life stuff. You can't be a higher moral than you do that. That's stupid to me.
As a feature, but you're worried about modders making it
sexual.
More sexual?
Yeah.
The audacity of that hypocrisy is kind of impressive when you think about it. Third point, PC gaming is a massive gaming market. For a 4-person indie studio that claims to be self-funded, deliberately cutting off your biggest potential revenue stream is either principled to the point of stupidity or more likely
Not really. That's what everybody always get this wrong. A lot of these games get most of their money from the consoles than they get from PC, because most people basically pirate the game and modded it to the pirate it later on or whatever. You don't get as much money from the PC market as a lot of these people think there is. Back in the days, yes, when you had the physical disc and everything like that, yeah, because you had to do it, yes. Now when everything's digital, no, the fuck you don't. That is one thing I've learned working behind the scenes with studios when I used to be in the gaming industry way more in the teens and up, from Ubisoft to EA to all this stuff. They don't make that much money off of the PC stuff. Okay, I've not been in there since 2020. Maybe it's changed a little bit, but it ain't changed. By seeing the number jumps between the consoles and stuff, that gap is too damn big. Ain't no way that gap made that much of a jump. Okay, I can tell you that from when I see those numbers.
Excuse for something else, and I think it's something else. Because Team Kill's previous game, Sun and Bone, did release on PC, and according to the developers themselves, it was pirated instantly and generated almost no revenue on Steam. So maybe,
Okay. Again, let's keep on going. You might say something like this, but there's a difference between me, the real life fake wizard, and me. I saw the books. I worked in the industry. I worked with Sony, Nintendo, Sega, Square. All right? I see the game development. I see some of the budgets because of stuff I had to do my contracts and everything. I saw real numbers. That's me. That's what I did. Again, me. You Yeah, but again, let's see what he says after this, because then let's see what he says after this.
Perhaps the real reason isn't protecting voice actresses. Maybe it's that they can't compete on a platform where refunds are easy and competition is fierce.
Really? You just told them that the games got pirated from hell, and they're like, yeah, oh, we put all this work in, and again, a shitty studio. Don't get it twisted, but we put all this work in, and it got pirated, and we don't make that much money off of it. Huh? Yeah. So we're going to console now because, like I stated, you proved my point. You just proved my point. Human beings are not good by some people got that thing like, oh, all human beings are good. No, they're not. They're very evil. It's hard to be good. It's easy to be evil.
PlayStation's walled garden, with its strict refund policy and less saturated indie market, is a much friendlier environment for, let's say, products of questionable quality. Controversy number 2, PlayStation exclusive positioning. Team Kill has touted that Code Violet is a PlayStation exclusive, making it appear as if they have some kind of partnership with Sony to make their game a PlayStation exclusive, similar to God of War or Ratchet & Clank. This is not exactly the case at all. They just published the game on PlayStation and didn't publish it anywhere else. Yeah. That's their choice. There is no publicly available information proving Sony Entertainment has any kind of contract or relationship with Team Kill Media. No, but it feeds into the concept that they're extremely sketchy. This is marketing, and it's positioning. But it's also extremely disingenuous to make people believe it's a Sony exclusive when it's not genuinely exclusive at all. Controversy number 3, fake user reviews. Before launch, Metacritic showed suspiciously...
This ain't, and trust me, this ain't the only person in that. There's a lot of people who've done the fake review shit. We saw it. Like I said, that Metacritic... I uphold it to a certain degree, but not that much. I'll tell you that. That's all I could tell you. I got you, but still don't care.
Perfect 10 out of 10 user scores for Code Violet. These scores appeared before the game was even available to play. They were eventually removed, but the fact that they existed at all suggests an attempt to manipulate the game's perception before the real reviews could come in. I'm not going to claim definitively that Team Kill planted those reviews. I have no proof of that. I couldn't claim that. But there's a pattern here. There's an embargo that lifts after the launch. There's suspiciously early reviews. There's blocking the critics on Twitter and everywhere else. There's dismissing negative feedback, and all of that together paints a messy picture. Controversy number 4, developer responses. After launch, as the negative reviews all poured in, Team Kill's response was telling, man. It's telling. They claimed the game wasn't made for critics, which is a statement I don't hate. I don't care for critics either. But then they highlighted the pre-order sales as proof of success. They engaged positively with fans who praised the game while blocking critics and dismissing legitimate concerns. The problem here is that the quote-unquote critics they were blocking don't work for Forbes or some access media outlet. They were blocking gamers who had legitimate questions, concerns, and critiques about the game. One developer post said,
maybe you should have had that with the first game where you figure out, I don't think I will mess with this game. And let's put this straight. And this is bias. This is 100% bias. I'm not going to deny it because of what it is. I'll give an example to add to this story of this video. Red Steel 1 wasn't really a good game. It had problems. Okay? Disclosure, I helped make some music and stuff for Red Steel 2. So that's why, again, just to be honest, I'm going to be an up and up. But Red Steel 1 it had great ideas. And I get it. If you go and say, all right, the first game was crappy, the second game was crappy. Now, again, in this situation with these developers, they were crappy and broken and all the other stuff. The game just didn't work fundamentally with Red Steel 1. The ideas were there. It still could work, but it just didn't work fundamentally. And they try to go realistic, and it didn't work. Red Steel 2, they refined it. And when I got to play it, that's why I say the bias part comes in, fully biased, which again is no such thing as unbiased anyway. Fully biased is I got to play the game before it came out. And I got like 2 copies of the game. Because why? Because that was a great game. I played Red Steel 2. And when I saw that the switching and the movement and everything was perfect, I was like, holy crap. If you guys just take your time, Ubisoft, and not rush them, again, Ubisoft, EA, Activision, and just let them be and let them cook with the game, you could get yourself a unique game experience. And that was Red Steel 2. So, but seeing that how these guys acted before and blah blah blah, yeah, I don't know about that.
They were proud of what they accomplished as a 4-person team. And look, I want to give them some credit here. Making any game with 4 people is hard. Making any game solo is hard. Making games is hard. Shipping something, like anything, is an achievement. But that doesn't excuse charging $50 for a broken product. That doesn't excuse the marketing tactics. That doesn't excuse hiding.
Yes, it does, because y'all buy the shit, as proven by the last game and how y'all do this. Y'all pre-order a game knowing that the person, like I said. So going back furthermore, if I wasn't on get to preview the Red Steel game before, and I just say, you know what, I'll wait for the reviews and then pick it up. Because again, there were also games like Codename Steam that got low grades for no apparent reason. People are like, oh, it's a crappy game, whatever. I picked it up. It was a fun-ass game. It fundamentally makes sense. And most of the reviewers didn't know how to play the damn game. That's where all the, with Cuphead, where the review couldn't get past the tutorial stages? Nah, it was Codename Steam where it was like, that's not how you play that game. And you gave it a 4 because you don't know how to play the game? What kind of bleep is this? But the reason why they charge that, because you guys pre-ordered the game stupidly. Oh, the PlayStation exclusive. Okay. As you just said before, it's not really exclusive, but PlayStation exclusive. That's the game you want? Really? Really? No. No, and hell no.
Behind it's not for critics, when the criticism is valid from your buyers. If your game isn't for critics, or what you really meant to say, gamers, maybe it also isn't worth $50 of someone else's money. But you know what? It's not all Team Kill Media's fault. Let's zoom out for a second here. Team Kill Media is listed as the publisher on the PlayStation Store. That means Sony verified them as a legitimate entity capable of selling products on their platform. PlayStation takes a cut of every sale. They profit from Code Violet. They profit from consumers buying a product that can't be refunded. And yet Sony has no apparent mechanism for addressing situations like this. There's no quality control. There's no consumer protection beyond the bare minimum refund policy.
I can respect what you're just saying right there, but there's also a thing of stop spending your money on stupid shit. Point blank, period.
If a game is bad but technically functional, you're stuck with it. The PlayStation Store isn't Steam, where user reviews are prominent and refunds are easy. It's not even the Nintendo eShop, which at least has some kind of curation. PlayStation is a premium platform that charges premium prices and provides minimal.
Did he just half-assedly praise Nintendo? Oh, I didn't know you had it in you. Real fake wizard. Good grief.
Consumer safeguards. That is a problem. Code Violent is a symptom of that problem. And because of that, it extends this discussion beyond one bad game from one sketchy, let's say, studio. The indie gaming space is already fragile. It's hard to get the word out when you're a small developer. Marketing budgets are non-existent. Most indie developers, if you speak to them, will say that their budget runs out the second they finish the game, and then they look and see the uphill battle that's ahead for marketing the thing. You're competing against AAA behemoths for attention. You're relying on word of mouth, perhaps YouTube coverage, and the hope that someone with an audience notices your game. It's hard to get players to take risks. Consumers are conditioned to wait for sales, wait for reviews, wait for patches. Never pre-order is
bullshit. I wish I had a little kid. Bullshit. Bullshit. You by what this game done, and people pre-order the game before it, whatever. That's not true, and that's why y'all are consumers and not customers. You consume it. You didn't do the thing like you just said. That's you stated it, sir, but that's not what happened, and that's why the game industry is sucky right now.
Conventional wisdom, and that caution is very justified for buyers, but it makes it harder for good indie games to find their audience at a launch when they need sales most. Team Kill Media exploits both of these vulnerabilities. They use nostalgia marketing to generate pre-orders. They time their embargo to maximize sales before reviews. They price at $50 to capture maximum revenue from early.
And I didn't buy it, and I bet you most of the gamers I know didn't buy it. I have a PlayStation 5. I didn't buy it. Again, there's only one game, like I stated before, that I bought day one for the PlayStation 5, and that was Astrobot. And it's because of what I saw Tiva Sobi did before. If it wasn't Tiva Sobi doing that shit, I won't buy it day one. What the hell?
Early adopters. And then, when the product turns out to be garbage, they hide behind, we're a small team, and our game is not for critics. This is predatory behavior dressed up as indie scrappiness. And look on the flip side too. When a game like Code Violet happens, it doesn't just hurt the people who bought it, it hurts every legitimate indie developer. Because the next time someone sees an indie game marketed as a spiritual successor to a beloved classic, they're gonna remember Code Violet.
Just like they did with, what was the one with, you had to play the Extinction game, the game with, not the Extinction game, the game when you were the Predator and you got the monsters, like, and they're trying all. Be wary of any fucking game. What the hell? What are we? What are we taking away common sense now? We're taking away, hey, maybe I should wait to see what the product comes up before I go fucking buy it? Like, what is wrong with you people? Sir, that's on the people. Look, I bought shit in my past. I'm not talking about games, because I really only like I said, there's only about 5% of games in my whole library that I bought in my lifetime. I'm like, I should have never bought that or that. Hell, only Sonic the Hedgehog is the only game I ever returned in my life. All right, it's like, I played it. I'm like, what? I got to do all this shit? Nope. Take it back. I don't want it. I don't care. Refund that son of a bitch. But I've bought crap in my life as a customer for anything, because I did that, and I chalked it up to myself that, oh man, yeah, I fucked it up. I messed that up. I should have never did that. That was stupid of me. Why did I bought that? That was crazy. That's in that shit. Next time, I know what I gotta do. That's on me.
And how it cost them $50. They're going to remember getting burned. They're going to wait for reviews. They're going to skip the pre-orders. And that caution might cause them to probably miss out on a genuinely great game from a...
Really? No, I don't think so. Do your job, wait to see stuff, and make sure you're out. Don't pre-order a friggin' game unless you know what the team is all about. You had prior to knowledge of this team about. I'll give you an example. If Team Cherry said they're doing another game, I don't see a problem with people. I still won't say pre-order, but hey, again, giving them their pedigree. I won't make a video say, hey guys, yeah, you're gonna pre-order Hollow Knight plus Silk Song, the trequel, whatever it is, Bugs Revenge, whatever. I won't argue with them. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, go ahead. Whatever. Their pedigree stands on their own, so I got that. But when you see that the pedigree don't up there, and even if There are people who started games from nothing, like Fight and Range. Basically, two dudes. One dude did that, the other dude did the music. Take a long time to make the game. I saw what the game was about. Then I got into it. I'm like, oh shit, this is a badass game. It wasn't no hype. It wasn't no marketing. I looked to myself, looked into the game, see what it was, whatever. Dust Divers was the exact same thing. Sakuna Rights of Ruin, same thing. I looked into what the developers are, see what it before I bought the game. What an indie game again. Airport Heroes, which I've been playing. I got hours and hours in that shit. Like those kind of games, yeah. Marvel versus what was it? Avengers Invasion. I looked at the reviews first, and then I said, okay, this is worth it. I like the differences. I'm a play. Power Rangers. I like the concept. I like it. I am a Power Ranger. I'm not gonna say I don't. I grew up on Power Rangers. But I see that the problems are, and I didn't buy the game. And funny enough, you can't. As I showed in a short, you can't even buy the daggone game on digital for on the Switch. Cause it got delisted.
Genuinely passionate
Don't buy digital games. What's wrong with you people?
team. One bad actor here poisons the well for everyone. But let's take it a step
If that was the case, then why people still go with Ubisoft and EA and Activision and let them get away with their bullshit?
further, because it does get worse.
And Bethesda.
Right now, making a bad game still requires some effort. You need the assets, you need code, you need voice acting, even if it's bad. Like, you need a lot of stuff. You need people that are competent enough to put all those things together. You also need to go through some kind of certification process for PlayStation or Xbox or Steam, Nintendo. But AI is changing the calculus. We're entering an era where generative AI can produce art assets, write dialogue, compose music, and potentially even generate functional code. The barriers to creating a game are dropping rapidly. What
True.
happens when bad actors realize they can use AI to mass produce asset flipping garbage? What happens when the team kills of the world can pump out 5 games a year instead of 1? What happens when the PlayStation Store, or any storefront, gets flooded with AI-generated shovelware priced at
Steam
$30,
will be the first one to get that.
$50 each with little recourse
I'm
for
not gonna lie to you,
refunds?
Steam will be the first
Steam
to
is
get that.
already dealing with a version of this problem. The
There you
platform
go.
is flooded with low-quality releases. It's
There
getting
you
harder
go.
and harder to find good games amidst the noise.
There you go.
PlayStation has been somewhat insulated because console certification is a little more rigorous. But Code Violet proves that rigor has limits. If Team Kill can get a game this broken onto the platform, other people can too. And when AI makes
shit.
production cheaper and faster, the incentive to flood the market with garbage only increases, especially on platforms with strict refund policies where consumers can't easily escape bad purchases. This
Maybe don't buy
is the future we're
digital
heading
games.
toward if platforms don't implement better quality control and consumer protection. So what's the solution?
I said both is needed. But also consumers need to stop being consumers and be customers and stop being asses. Where did these things come from?
Well, for Sony, fix your refund policy, make an update or two. 2 hours of playtime within 2 weeks, like Steam, would protect consumers without significantly impacting legitimate developers. If your game can't survive people actually trying it before committing, maybe your game shouldn't be on the platform yet. Maybe there's still work to be done. Implement better verification as well. Check that publishers are legitimate operating businesses. This is basic due diligence. Add quality gates, not censorship, not.
All right. I get you saying. It's like you have the food inspectors industry and FAA and all stuff like that. I get you. Let them do the bare minimum, but also as a customer, the bare minimum is to I don't know, like again, example, FAA. Oh, I think I'm gonna go from here to here. And the cheapest flight is what? Spirit. Oh no. No. Unless I have to, I ain't flying no Spirit. Never flown a Spirit flight. I ain't, and hopefully I don't think it's gonna happen since they're getting bought. It could be bought out, whatever. But again, as a customer, it's cheap, but it's not worth it. That's what we're supposed to be doing.
creative control, but basic functionality requirements. If a game crashes constantly or has game-breaking bugs, it shouldn't be certified for release. For our consumer friends, never
If that was the case, that shit would have happened back in the 2000 teens when that shit was happening more and more. Now? Again, all that stuff I argued for myself too, but you know what? When I see people buy shitty games, again, that's why I'm at a stance right now. I'm like, I don't give a crap no more about, why do I care? Because y'all spoke with y'all wife to buy trashy games just to be what it is. Again, y'all bought an always online game and then wanted to, and you're surprised when the server goes off, it don't work no more. That's not the company's fault. That's your fault for being that stupid. That's you. And you blame the company. It's a single player game. But it says always online. You think they're going to keep the servers going for that long for your game? No. But you still bought the game willy-nilly thinking, well, it's a single player. What part of always online don't you understand? But I thought I could play the game offline and just keep on playing the game. And that's why y'all using that game. Again, I've said it before. I respect the whole stop the game thing, whatever, But the game that y'all using is the most dumbest game to use for that. Because y'all look like morons and idiots. Legitimately.
Pre-order. I know I sound like a broken record. Most content creators say this often. It's pretty well known not to pre-order. But situations like this is exactly why. Wait for reviews. Wait for gameplay footage from people who aren't the developers or the marketing teams. Protect yourself because the platforms won't. Also, consider the reviews from people you actually trust and not the access media mainstream garbage. You can also research developers. Team Kill's track record was public. Quantum Error's reviews were public.
Thank you. So what made you think that their next game gonna be good? What? Gambling in Casablanca? What the hell?
Anyone who Googled the studio before buying Code Violet would have seen at least a handful of red flags. And for our developer friends, don't be like Team Kill Media. If your game isn't ready, don't ship it. If your game has problems.
Again, it didn't stop Ubisoft. What part is somebody working here? Is somebody here? That don't, you saying that, but Bethesda, Ubisoft, EA, Activision, they get away with this shit all the time. And they still get away with that shit. And y'all still buy their games. So, what we doing? That's all I can tell you. What we doing?
Acknowledge them honestly instead of blocking critics. The indie space thrives and survives on trust. When you betray that trust, you make it harder for every other small developer trying to do things right. Also, the internet is forever. If you engage in untrustworthy behavior and people find out, they'll never let you live it down. Keep this in mind.
That's true.
Every dollar spent on Code Violet is a dollar that tells Sony their policies are fine. A dollar that tells Team Kill their tactics are working. A dollar that incentivizes the next company or the next grifter to try the same thing. I want to believe that Team Kill is just a small team that perhaps got in over their heads. I want to believe they're passionate developers who make mistakes. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. But the blocking people on Twitter, the embargo timing, the refusal to address legitimate questions, the pattern across multiple games, at some point, you got to look at the evidence and come to your own conclusions. And my conclusion is this. In my humble opinion, Code Violet isn't just a bad game. It's a warning sign for what the indie space could become if we don't demand better.
And the only way you could demand better, if you take this thing, go inside, you take this magic plastic that has zeros and numbers, or like me, I actually do carry cash on me. Take these green little paper made with linen and cloth that has a Benjamin on there, a Hamilton, or Franklin, and you don't Oh, whoa. Well, my mistake there. Almost there. Take this actual money. This is about $200 I got right here. Actual money and don't give it to them. That's what you do. Actual sound effects because I got to. Actual sound effects. Don't give them the money. Hold your money. Put it back in your wallet. Use it for something that's more useful. Bada bing, bada boom.
Until next time, create, innovate, inspire others to do so as well, and for the love of God, cancel Disney Plus.
Okay, whatever. My point is what it is. You get what it is. Real, fake, wizard. You proving the point of what I just said. I get what you're saying, but the problem is though, customers went and bought the game. They pre-ordered the game, and you're surprised your game is you got a crappy game. I'm Macaulay Culkin right here. Ah, are you crazy? I'm not surprised. That's what it is. That money thing I just did a while ago is why people keep on doing shit. You want more physical games? You should have bought more physical games. Y'all bought digital. You want more control or refund or whatever? Y'all went and bought digital. Y'all want to own games? Y'all went and bought digital. You did everything else different. So what can we say? So I'll leave it at that, man. Remember, there's no perfect games out there. Perfect to you is not perfect to me. Perfect to me is not perfect to you. Simply enjoy games at all consoles, including PC. Oh, good Lord. And for goodness sake, wait. For goodness sake, and do research. Don't buy digital unless it's indie. I'll give the indies the credit because, like you just explained out there, and I give it. Don't buy digital unless it's indie. Make sure the game is working before anything else. And two, stop the bull crap.